Hi guys, what are we going to do today? We're going to do something really fun with one of my favorite things. Take a look at some of these fun projects we have here. Let's get started. It is one of my favorite things and it's a die cut machine. This one happens to be called Vagabond and I have it on my favorite things, and it's an electric die cut, but it also does embossing and just tons of fun stuff, which we're going to get into. But you also have like the Big Shot or the Big Kick or the Cuddle Bug, and I have one of those too, and it's a hand roll. So if you don't want to use your muscles as much, this is really kind of a fun one to use. So I'm just going to experiment with this, and hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. This was a fun die, and a die is kind of like a cookie cutter for different mediums. And so I used some old kids reading cards, and I even used some old postcards, and here's the back side where the writing was, and you can see the front side where there was fun images. I mean, you could even use photographs. I'm just going to grab this fun card, and here is one of the dies. Right here is the rabbit. You don't want to press down because that is actually like a sharp razor blade, and this is kind of spongy, so when it presses in very tightly, it cuts out the medium you're cutting. I've even used it with fabric with some steam behind it or a fusible web, and then die cut out my piece, peel off the fusible web, and iron it onto anything. I'm going to put my die in. You have plates, and each machine shows you the type of plates, or if you need to add a shim or something else, depending on the dies you're using. This is a deep cut. And I really like these probably the best, the deep cut dies, because I can cut through thick cardboard, I can cut through metal, I can cut through a lot of things. So the fun part about this machine is I'm just pressing a button down, and it's just going to die cut it out for me, and I do not have to crank the wheel. And there we go, we have this cute bunny. That's how easy that is. Here is out of stencil paper, and I die cut it out. It's a very fun silhouette to make your own stencils. So you can use the open space, the mask space. So there's two uses there. With these thin lids, this is very intricate, but I can only cut thinner items with. I have my fat plate, and that usually comes with your machines. Then I have my regular plate. I'm laying my paper on top. And you're going to know real quick, if it's sliding through too easily, that means you need more on there. Otherwise, it will not press down for you. Now, the only thing with the intricate plates is sometimes you have lots of pieces that you need to get off. There are a few tricks and tips, but look at how beautiful this is. Isn't that pretty? There's still more pieces to pull out, but it gives you an idea of some of the intricate things that you can do. So this is another die, and it's actually butterflies. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this, and you could use any color paper. I want at least two of this big one, so I just folded my paper in half, and since this is a thicker die, I know it'll go through both of these. What I'm going to do is staple in the center. You could even sew, and depending on the color paper you have, you could do several layers, and you have this beautiful butterfly. And it's 3D. So the more and more pieces you have, it could actually just go all the way around. But it's just another fun, simple idea. So this is an embossing plate, but it's more of a texture plate. It's a little deeper than your regular embossing plates. On a couple other videos where I had made paper pulp, I had used some embossing plates to put paper pulp in a tea bag and emboss them, and that was really fun. So with this one, what I am going to do is use a thin piece foil. It's thicker than aluminum foil, but not as thick as a heavy metal. This one is thinner, so I need the thick plate. Pull this out. See how cool that looks. And so you could even ink over the top or use a light paint and sand, and this would look very, very cool. Cut a piece out, put it on a card, make a larger piece, form it around a jar, but isn't that fun? So this was another fun texture plate, and it is the months of the year, so I'm gonna do a couple of them and show you. Embossing ones are a little different. So you have a part that sticks up on one side and goes in on the other, so it fits in and they fit into each other. So you really just need to play and try your pieces to see which way is forward and backward. I like to use a little heavier cardstock on this. And I'm going to show you why this is kind of a fun plate and it's a little bit different. And you can see how you're getting a impressed side and it looks like there's a shadow. So you could even start with a dark paper and do white on the top. I'm using black paper with this. And you can see when I put my ink pad over it, you really have a shadowed effect. So I'm taking this raised image, I'm going to just stamp. I'm going to do the other side and show you. And there you go, and that's really pretty too. So this is more of the impression of the actual weave of the basket. And this has the white lines in between because the basket is coming out. So I hope you thought this was fun and informative and it gave you a few ideas to try a few different things. If you don't have a machine, you know, there are a lot of people that just sell die cut pieces for you, but if you're interested on my favorite things, I have different machines that you can look at. I always feel like tools are worth their weight in gold. I love tools almost better than just regular supplies. So once again, you can use old playing cards, any type of a paper, thin metal, fabric, anything you can think of. We've also made some stencils out of this, some fun 3D pieces out of this. So whatever you do, have fun, and I hope you try this out.